Founded in 1984, Medway African and Caribbean Association has been serving the community for the past 30 years, promoting the awareness of the African and Caribbean culture throughout the local authorities and also the Medway town, championing issues on behalf of the local community such as racism, tension between the police and the black community, mental health issues, services for senior citizens, support for fostering organisations and young black people within the prison system, as well as increasing the understanding of our culture through the educational system, promoting the positive achievements of our young people. Throughout this documentary, we will learn of the true origin of MACA, the reason behind why it was created, how it came to have such an important stand within the community, and also what has been achieved as a result of the association.
Well, I'm Joseph Cole.
Okay, and I'm his wife, Mrs. Cole, Madge Cole, and both of us founding members of MACA, but especially he was the chairman and the force behind MACA.
MACA started in the year of 1983-84. The reason for this, I was asked to form the association is because in the Medway town there was very few black people, or ethnic minority as they call it, were in the area. But then it began to increase. And there were some youngsters here at the time find themselves without any sort of entertainment. When they leave school, there was no facility for them, and therefore I was approached by a member of Gillingham Borough Council with an explanation that it would be good if somebody would come forward to represent the ethnic minority in the area.
When a group of us from Chatham, Rochester, Gillingham, throughout the Medway, all black people met in our living room in the house, and he explained what the meeting was about. Also, the person who came from the council who told us about the concern of the council, she was there, Mrs. Hall was there that night, and many other members of the community. And we started off very enthusiastically, to know that, okay, we had moved in December of 82. And in the first few months I saw one or two black people on the road and never saw three people at the same time. So this was really exciting to know that we had met so many of our people, and they were actually in our home, and this was the plan, to get something on the way where we can, as black people, meet together and start up something that will go on, will move on to the next generation and onward, to build up in the Medway area. Yes, this was very exciting to begin with, and we started off very well. It was good.
The first meeting was held at 19 Linden Road, Gillingham, Kent, in our living room. After that meeting, and the organization began to establish themselves, we realized that we wanted a bigger accommodation to accommodate the members. So I personally contact the Gillingham Borough Council and ask them for if they would be able to help us by providing a larger accommodation for us, which eventually they did by introduce us to the Woodland Social Club, and there we used that premises for a while. Then we move on from there, and then we used the Baptist Church in Gillingham, Kent, Green Street for a number of years because the accommodation was pretty good there. It suit us, it suit the occasion. So we used there, and it was free to us. So we took the advantage. When we having our meetings, the main subject were at the time were to find means and ways to accommodate the ethnic minority in the area. First, we talk about the elderly. We talk about the teenagers, the future for them, what we would like to do for them for the future. Things like those we discussed, and we come up with many different plans that we would like to put forward and to see to it that these things is mature.
I'm Pamela Rimmel. I'm a committee member of Medway African and Caribbean Association, and I deal mostly with the membership and the senior citizens group. We formed the seniors group in about 2007 because there was a large percentage of seniors in MACA who were isolated and needed some company, and we felt that this is the way to do it, and a small group of us got together, 4 of us, and started the senior citizens group. During the senior citizens group, 1 to 4 at the Sunlight Centre on a Tuesday, every Tuesday of the year, the men like to loudly play dominoes, which is a cultural thing, and we have speakers of various interests. Some people have talked about the island that they come from. We've had people regarding health and exercise from the Sunlight Centre. The women, we mostly play bingo, or we've done embroidery, knitting, making cards, in which way we can just sell them nearer Christmas, make a little bit of money to help with our funds. We've contributed, I think, greatly towards the local community. 5 of us are Hope mental health ambassadors with Rethink charity. We trained as champions and are working in the community, particularly with ethnic minorities. David Goddard is on MOPS, which is Medway Older People's Partnership, in a council group which involves people of Medway of all types. I think that MACA has grown from the early 80s when it was formed over the last 30 years. I wasn't there at the very beginning, of course, but now I feel that due to hard work with a core of people, it has grown. It has grown and altered to suit the environment that we're working in and the age groups of the people that are involved in MACA and are now members. There are many positive words that I would congratulate MACA over the 30 years. The hard work of possibly a small group of people that have just persisted regarding of how small or large the membership is. In the past, many people worked very hard and had a lot of group activities. Those people have probably grown and moved on from Medway, some of them, and we've kept up with the times, and I think everybody is congratulated for the effort they put in to help a group that caters predominantly for ethnic minorities to find their place in Medway.
My name is Trish Gale. My role in MACA is I am co-chair. Is that the right terminology?
Vice chair.
Vice chair. My apologies. For the organisation, and my role is really it's varied. It's fundraising, it's helping, it's whatever the needs of the members are and the community. With the time we've got to do what we can do to keep the community and culture going.
My name's Carol Stuart, and I'm currently the chairperson of Medway African and Caribbean Association, and my role is to work with the management committee or the directors of the organisation, because we're now a registered charity, to achieve its objectives, with the support again of the wider community and our members, to set some goals, to raise some funds, and also to support our young people's organisation as well. So what MACA is about today in the 21st century, and also why it's important to have an organisation, I think it's because of certainly what I was saying before in terms of where Kent and Medway has moved on in terms of diversity and racism and some of the issues that a lot of our community is still facing. I speak to community leaders, I speak to young people, I speak to senior citizens about some of the issues that they're facing with the police. I mean, just the other day, I had a colleague from the Kent and Ethnic Minority Police Association talk to me about, we need to try and get more black people in the police force. And I say, well, you can't do that until you address the issues why black people aren't joining the force, which is the issue around lack of trust and confidence, and also why you've got black officers who are leaving the police force because there's no career opportunities for them, they're not progressing through the ranks. So in bringing more people in, all you're doing is filling a leaky bucket with water. So what we do through our work with the police is to have those kind of open debates and discussions with the police about those community tensions. So I was involved in setting up the first independent advisory group. I think it was back in 2005 or 2006, and we acted as a critical friend, and we were one of the forces to have the first black chief constable. It was a different experience. I'm not going to speak good or bad about that particular time, but we certainly as MACA gave a lot of challenge to the police force. Back then, as we still do now, we have a very positive relationship with members of our police force, whilst we recognise that there is still a long way to go. We also do a lot of work, as Tricia was saying, with the prisons. Yeah. I think we were one of the first organisations.
That approached the prison about because obviously with the prison being in Medway, we felt that there were young black people in there, black young men in there, that although they may be incarcerated for a reason, they were actually still striving to be better and and doing some education and different things like that. So we approached the governor to say, this is what we do. We've got Black Achievers Award. Could we or can we work together? To look at, have you got some young men that even though they're incarcerated, you've seen have made an improvement, so that when they leave, you can see that they've changed their mindset in order to change their life. and if so, would you, recommend and put their names forward for an award? And that worked out really well. And, we've worked, they've asked us in on other basic things like around hair care, basic things, or around, other young people that have got other challenges, and they'll phone and ask questions. But just to go back, before we even did the being on that committee, we started working with the police because one of the issues that we had at the beginning for myself and Caroline, and that was that it was about this stop and search, and how they approach you, and is this your car, and somebody like me was like, well, has it been reported missing or stolen, was my answer, and not everybody's like that. And so I challenged them, and so we ended up actually being asked to come in and sit in on some of their training and go through some scripts with the police about how they spoke to black people, and how it felt, and that their language needed to be different. So we started off with that, and then as a result of doing that, we build up, the kind of working relationship with them, and we will continue to do so.
My name's Holly Hines.
My name's Sophia Stuart.
We are both members of YPU, which stands for Young People United, which is a subgroup of MACA. And we are trying to get young people involved in our group from local schools and colleges. And our aim is to show different cultures and diversities within the community.
And to showcase the talents of young people. So some of the tasks that we have planned are we are organising a youth showcase and a culture and diversity festival at Mid-Kent College, where we will have stalls on show from the different organisations in Medway, showcasing their culture, and then there will also be different acts in the theatre with young people. I have been involved in MACA for as long as I can remember, and I got involved through my mum. She got me involved from a young age.
I got involved in MACA because of Saf, really. I came along to a few of the events before I got asked to help out, and then we obviously formed YPU.
As a member of MACA, I have been involved in the Saturday school, where we would have a school every last Saturday of the month, and we would do various things like musical workshops, or going to like the African village and having drumming workshops, learning about Black history. Also, I was involved in Urban Steps, which used to be run by Alison and Yasmin, and we would meet every Friday and then come up with different routines, and then we'd perform every year, sometimes at Love Music, Hate Racism, and also at the Young Black Achievers Awards in October. We would also do historical museum trips to like Black history exhibitions, and also we would perform as the Saturday school at the Young Black Achievers Awards every year. We also did a visit to meet Jesse Jackson, where it was filmed by the BBC, and we was interviewed by him as well.
For workers, I stood with you. Farmers, I stood with you. Now on April 19th, I want you and you and you.
He was the USA's first black presidential candidate. He's campaigned for civil rights alongside Martin Luther King. Today, the Reverend Jesse Jackson was in London to launch a project for economic equality. Listening to him talk were children and young people from Medway's African Caribbean Society. And afterwards they got to meet the man in person.
How are you?
And pose a few questions.
Do you think that in your lifetime there will ever be a black Prime Minister or black President?
I know it's possible in our time, and you only make it possible by having the right to vote and by using it and by running for office.
If you had a message to give to all black young people in England, what would it be?
Strong minds break strong chains. And no matter what your situation may be, you've not earned the right to do less than your best.
The group is doing a project on black achievers. They've written to many high-profile figures asking for interviews, but they didn't imagine someone so high-profile would spare the time. So I asked the Reverend why he did agree to meet them.
Because they are the key to the present and the future. Their pain today hurts us all. If they fall into gangs of crime, they cost us all and they hurt us all. But they're also the key to our future.
I didn't think I would be able to talk to him because I would be in shock.
He's saying to dream. Now that's in my head. I'm going to start dreaming big now.
The group is presenting its project in October. Little doubt now which figure will be the highlight. Sarah Smith, BBC South East Today.